Solutions to 2023 1G3 End of Year Paper 1 and Paper 2. In the first question, we have to express the result as a recurring decimal. We can use the calculator to obtain this answer, which shows that 231 is repeating. Therefore, writing as a recurring decimal, what we need to do is to put a dot at the beginning of the repeating set of numbers and another dot at the end of the repeating set of numbers, 231. Now moving on to the next sum, we have to express each number to one significant figure. Okay, so 791.05 to one significant figure is 800. 0.45 to one significant figure is 0.5. And cube root of 999 to one significant figure is 1000. So now the numbers are easy to calculate, and you can still use the calculator to obtain the answer 20. The next sum is on algebra. Say first we have to sum these two numbers, 3x, sum means plus, and subtracted by x minus 3. And this is equivalent to 1/4 x. That means 1/4 x equal to this. Right? So we can simplify to 2 plus 13, and eventually 7x over 4 is equal to negative 13, and x is equal to negative 52 over 9. You can leave your answer as an improper fraction. Do not leave your answer as a decimal. For answers to equations, it must be left in a fraction. Right, the next sum is on rotational symmetry. The pattern shown there has only two shaded squares, and we are supposed to shade two more squares so that it has a rotational symmetry of order 2. So this is the what we need to shade. It looks like this shape here. S shape has a rotational order of 2, meaning that we can turn 2 times to fit into the original figure. And now for this, the order of rotational symmetry for the following diagram. Now what this resembles is a square. So a square has rotation symmetry of 4. Therefore, this figure has order of rotational symmetry 4. On a mountain, the temperature decreases by 6.5 degrees for every 1,000 meters. So at 2,000 meters is 10 degrees. So therefore, the difference going up to 6,000 meters is 4,000. So every 1,000 is 6.5. So there are 4 1,000. Therefore, the temperature at 6,000 drops by starting at 10 degrees, it drops by 4 times 6.5, and that gives us negative 16 degrees. It's a simple sum. Right, next, looking at the numbers, we have to identify the cubic numbers. Cube numbers, right? Yeah, so these are cubes, 3 cube and 4 cube, right? So this is the number, and 1 is also a cube because 1 cube is 1. So 1 is a cube, and 3 cube times 64. We have to use the original number to write our answer. And for irrational numbers are numbers that contain pi or the root of a prime number. So there's only 3 over pi. Then the prime numbers, right? Remember that 1 is not a prime, right? So if we look at this number here, 2 cube over 4, right? 2 cube over 4 is 8 over 4, and 8 over 4 is 2, and 2 is a prime number, the smallest prime number. Therefore, our answer here is 2 cube over 4. Right, we have to write the original numbers as the answer. Right, now, the next sum is on substitution, and we use brackets for substitution. So we can begin by writing out all the brackets and then filling in the numbers. This alone already will have got you 1 mark. Minus b, and b is minus 1 over 11. So this is minus 1 over 11. And for a is 3 over 7. And c is negative 2. A is 3 over 7. Right, you can use your calculator to key in everything and get your answer. Right, so the answer, if you use the calculator, is 2.2 approximately 689, right, which is rounded to 2 decimal places as required, is 2.27. We now move on to the next sum. Here, this is quite a simple one. You have those earn 875 in 1 week, and he worked 28 hours a week. So how much does he earn an hour? Right, so we just simply take 875 divided by 28, and that is what he earns in 1 hour. Right, which is $31.25. Right, now he pays a rent. His rent is $275, and this is to be taken as a fraction of his weekly earnings. Right, his weekly earnings we know is 875. The rent is 275. So they want to know the fraction 275 over 875, and that has to be reduced to the lowest term, which is 11 over 35. Right, 7 over 20 of his earning is on bills. Okay, so 7 over 20 of his earnings. His earning is 875. Right, this one is on bills, which works out to be 306.25. And the money left after paying rent and bills Now we have calculated the rent earlier on. It is 275, right? So therefore, his money, which is 875, right, minus the rent, minus 306.25, the bills, that will give him the money left over, which is 293.75. Okay, now his weekly earnings increased by A%. Of course, the previous earning should be at 100%, so it's increased by A%, so it's 108% of 999. Okay, so 108% is over 100%, means over 100 times 999. Find the value of A if the weekly earning is 1028.97. So his weekly earnings is 999. So now his weekly earning is increased by A. So therefore, this, which actually we can simplify this to 999 plus 9.998. Okay, so it's easier to work with. So this amount is equal to 1028.97. Right, so we need to find the value of A, which is a simple number. It's actually 3, right, if we work it out. Alright, next, this is a sum on multiples and factors. And in the first part, we have to find the smallest, and which is divisible by both A and B. If something can be divided by A and B, it must be bigger than A and B. So what we are looking for is a multiple. And smallest here means the lowest common multiple. So this question is just asking for the LCM. And for LCM, we pick the bigger power of each number. Bigger power of 2 will be 2 cubed. And the bigger number of 3 is just 3. Bigger number of 5 is 5 square. And then 7 cubed. And k square. We don't know k, but k square is bigger than k, the bigger number. Okay, because the bigger number, the bigger power will contain the smaller power. Then that is where it can be divisible. Alright, now 24kn. 24k. 24 is 2 cubed times 3 and times k. And if we multiply by a number n, then this will become a multiple of b. Remember that multiple is usually bigger. So here is bigger than b. Now what is b? b is 2 cubed. Do we have 2 cubed here? Yeah, we have 2 cubed. But do we have 5 square? Now, if it's a multiple of b, it should also contain the factors of b. So it should have a 5 square. So therefore, we need to put in a 5 square if it has to be a multiple of b. So now it has 2 cubed, it has 5 square, but does it have 7? No. So we have to include 7 in, because b has 7. So if this is a multiple of b, it should contain factors of b. And b has k. Do we have k? Yes, we have k. So this is the final answer, 5 square times 7. And this is the value of n. that is the number that we are supposed to find. And we have to work it out, which is 175. Now, next, we have to find two unknowns, P and Q, so that A times P and Q, so this is A, right? A times P over Q, two numbers. Now, first, we ask ourselves, what is a square? Now, a square must have even powers for its prime factors. So we have A has the prime factors 2, 3, and 7. So are the powers even? Well, 2 has an even power, but 3 does not have an even power. So we need another 3 to create an even power. So we multiply by 3 to give 3 square, which is an even power. And 7 cube. Now 7 cube, if you multiply by 7, we don't have any more numbers to multiply. So therefore, we actually have to reduce the power to a square. Right? So to reduce it, we divide by 7. So check, P and Q are both prime numbers. So our P and Q, is it prime numbers? Right? So P is the top number and Q is the bottom number. Right? So therefore, P is 3 and Q is 7. Right, next, find the value of K such that the greatest common factor, greatest or highest common factor of A and B. Now, highest common factor is smaller. So we are finding a number that is smaller than A and B and also common to A and B. And that number is 364. So here I have written out the factors of A and the factors of B. So the HCF, we pick the lower power, that is 2 square. Then we are looking for common factor. So 2 is common, 3, 5 is not common, 7 is common. The lower power is 7, right? And then between the K, the lower power, which is K, is the common factor, right? That means 2 square times 7 times K should be equals to 364. That's what they say. The HCF of A and B is 364. So now, having formed this equation, we can find K. K is just 364 divided by 2 square and 7, which is 28. And when we divide, we have the answer 13. So K is 13. Now we have some algebra here. Alright, so what we need to do, division, we need to invert the fraction and convert to multiplication. So we invert, change the multiplication, invert. It's good to cancel in pencil so that you won't mess up your working. Right, so now we look for common factors. A cube cancel with A4 is 1A left. C cancel with C cube is C square left. 5 cancel with 15 is 3. And 8 cancel with 24 is also 3. Right, we have to use pencil to cancel so that if we make any mistake, we can change easily. Right, now, so we have this factors. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we have c squared over negative a. So we put the negative in front. So we have the answer negative 9c squared over a. Right, now here we have to make it into a single fraction. So to subtract two fractions, we need to make the same denominator. Now the denominators are 6 and 9. So what we need to look for is the LCM. And the LCM of 6 and 9 is 18. Right, so to create an 18, on this side we need to multiply by 3 and over 3 so that the denominator is 18. 3 times 6 is 18. On this side we have to multiply by 2 over 2 so that the denominator 2 times 9 is 18. Now that we know the denominator is 18, we put it under a single denominator. Right, numerator 3 times 7 is 21. And 2 times 5 minus n. So now we need to expand it using the distributive law and not forgetting to change sign. Minus times minus plus 2 times n. Right, collecting like terms, we will have 23n minus 52 over 18. Right, the next sum. The next sum is on factorization. Factorize means bring out common factors. Alright, so looking at 8 and 6, the common factor is 2. Right, the common factor of 8 and 6 is 2. It's actually the HCF also, if you want to think of it. Now, so pi is common. The lower power is common. And y is the lower power, so y is common. That means there are all the common factors. We have taken out 2 from 8. So what is left is 4, because 2 times 4 is 8. We have taken out 1 pi is left behind, and we have taken out y. So here we have taken out the factor 2 from 6, so 3 is left, pi is taken out, and y is taken out from y cubed, so y squared is left. So that is the final answer. We can always check by multiplying in again. 2 times 4 is 8, pi times pi squared times y. 2 times 3 is 6 times pi, y times y squared is y cubed. Right, that is how we check. The next sum, we have 4 terms. When you have 4 terms, it is factorization by grouping. Grouping means that each group, right, there are 2 groups here. Each group has a common factor, right? So we look at the first group first. And the first group, the common factor is 2. P is the lower power. P is also common, and Q is common. Right, so now having taken that out, we have 3P in bracket. Actually, it is the same as the other factor, which is 3P minus Q, minus 1. So this is now the common factor. Right, so for grouping, after we factorize out, then we have a common factor in brackets. So now we have to take out this common factor. Remember that factorizing means taking out common factor, right? So 3p minus 1 is a common factor. So what is left behind? Well, the first one is 2p cubed. And the second one is there a factor? Yes. When we take out the whole thing, there's still one factor left, and that factor is 1. Because when you multiply into the bracket, 3p minus 1 times 2p cubed will give you the first part. 3p minus 1 times 1 will give you the second part. Now, remember that when we have a common factor in brackets, it must be exactly the same. But here, it is different. The order is different. So we need to make it into the same order. How do we do that? Very simple. We just simply change the sign in front. The sign in front is now plus. We change the sign in front to minus. So when we do that, we can switch the terms around. So that now the common factor is a minus b squared. Alright. So what is left? 3 minus 7g. What is not underlined is what is left. We put in brackets. Right, next we have a sum on polygon. Right, the first thing they ask you to do is to find the sum of the angles in a hexagon. This is a 6-sided figure. So the formula for sum of interior, if it is a 6-sided, then it's 180 times 6. Right, that works out to be 720 degrees. Okay, now show that x plus 2y equals to 360. Now, what is x and what is y? They are simply the interior angles, right? They are all the interior angles. Now, you have to read the question carefully. They have given you all the angles here. Where are all these angles? FAB. They are all these angles here, and they are all equal to y. Right? So we have 4y. And then these two angles are equal to x. Right? That is what is given in the sum. Okay, so now we add up all these angles and it should be equal to 720 because that's the sum of interior angles. So how many x we have? We have 2x. How many y we have? We have 4y. And that adds up to 720. So dividing throughout by 2, we will have x plus 2y equals 360. And that is what we need to show. Now, the value of x is 2/3. So now we have to use our equation, replace x with 2/3 of y. Okay, so the x here is replaced with 2/3 y. That is what the question means. So we have 2/3 of y plus 2y equals 360, and we can find y. When we have a fraction in an equation, we can get rid of it by multiplying throughout by the LCM. In this case, it's only 3. So we multiply by 3 throughout. Right? So we multiply by 3, multiply by 3, multiply by 3. Okay, that is how we can get rid of 3. So now we have 2y plus 6y equals to 36 times 3. 36 times 3. 108. Okay, so we have 8y is 1080 and y is 135. Write down the number of lines of symmetry. Right. For this figure, lines of symmetry means the lines that divide the figure into two equal halves. There's one here, and then there's another one here. So altogether, how many lines? There are 2 lines of symmetry. Answer is 2. And next, we have number 13. and this is on fraction. So two brothers have divide a sum of money, the three brothers. So we have the eldest receive 2/3, then the second one receive 1/5, but the third one we do not know, right? So what we need to do is to take one, that's the whole sum of money, minus away 2/3, minus away 1/5, and you can use your calculator. You will have 2/15. Right, so the youngest has 2/15, and this 2/15 represent 200. So in order to get the original sum of money, we divide by 2 and times 15, because there are total of 15 parts. Right, so therefore the sum of money, right, the sum of money is equal to 200 divided by 2 multiplied by 15, and that equals 1500. Here we have sum on ages. 2019, Ali is X years old, and Barry is 4 times. So it's 4 times X. And in 2022, now, how many years have passed by? 3, right? From here to here is 3 years have passed by. Therefore, what is Ali's age? Is plus 3. Barry's also increase in 3 years. So now, in 2022, when we compare their ages, Barry will be 3 times. Now Barry is 4x plus 3 will be, which means the equal sign, 3 times Ali's age, and that is the equation. Okay, this is the equation. Barry is 3 times. Barry, this is in 2022. Barry is 3 times Ali's age. Okay, so we need to solve this very easily. We can work out easily. Is X is 6. Okay, so they say find Barry's age in 2020. Now 2020 is just 1 year more than 2019. Okay, so Barry's age. So Barry's age is 4 times X. So Barry's age in 2020. First, in 2019 is 4 times. Then in 2020 is 1 year after 2019. So that is 25 years. Don't forget the units. Right, now we go on to the next sum. And this is on angles in parallel lines. We are shown that we have a rhombus, 2 rhombuses, right, cross each other. One rhombus is ABCD, the other rhombus is EFGC. Right, rhombus have all equal sides. So therefore, we have isosceles triangles. That's what we should take note. So the first part requires us to find FBC. FBC is this angle here. It's good to identify the angle in the diagram before you begin. And now, what is this angle? It is on a parallel line, right? It's on a parallel line. So that means there must be another parallel line to this. So that is this parallel line. Okay, so when we have angles which are on parallel lines, we should look for the other parallel line. So we can see that actually angle FBC is equal to 107, right? So that is corresponding angles, right? Corresponding angles. The parallel lines is AD parallel to BC, right? We need to state the reasons. If you did not state the reasons, we'll lose marks. FGE. Alright, FGE. Where is the angle FGE? Is this angle. So now we want to find this angle. Now remember what I said earlier on is that there are isosceles triangles. So we have an isosceles triangle here. Right? So therefore, angle FGE is actually 180 minus 118 divided by 2, right? So that is because it's an isosceles triangle, right? So that gives us 31 degrees. Okay, now so one last angle, that is ECB. So ECB is this angle here, ECB. Now we look at the angle very carefully, and here we see that if we know this angle, angle ECG. Angle ECG is this whole angle. Angle ECG. So if we can find out what is this angle here, then we should be able to find out the whole angle. Now ECG is actually the opposite angle of 118, because this is a parallelogram. So angle ECG is actually 118. Reason, opposite angles of parallelogram. Right? So now we want to find the shaded angle. Right? I can call it maybe A. So we have already found the other angle in the parallel line. Okay, so in the parallel line we have the other angle that is FBC. Right? So we have the angle FBC. So angle FBC plus A is equal to 180 interior angles. And the parallel lines is BF parallel to CG. Right, so FBC we found out earlier on is 107. So therefore our angle A is 73. Now, so therefore now we can find the angle ECB, which is just 118, or angle ECG minus angle A, right? So which is ECG is 118 minus away A, which is 73, and this equals to 45. A straight line pass through C, right? So straight line pass through C, and that is this line. They are talking about this line here. Right, let's make it in red. Okay, a straight line passes through C, and explain whether this line EG, whether these two lines are parallel. Okay, that is what they want us to find out. Now, if they are parallel, then their interior angles will be equal. That is one way of finding out. Okay, now you are given this whole angle here, right? This whole angle is 133. So therefore, we need to find this angle. And if these two angles add up to 180, then they are parallel. So since this angle here angle CEG, so angle CEG is actually equal to angle FGE. We have already calculated FGE earlier on. And why is it equal? Because isosceles triangle, right? So these two angles are equal, right? So therefore is equal to FGE is 31 degrees. Now, then if we add the two angles CEG plus angle ECH, it will give us 31 degrees plus 133, which is equal to 164 degrees. And this is not equal to 180. Therefore, the lines EG is not parallel to CH. Okay, now we move on to the next sum. It's on algebra. Okay, very simple. What we need to do is get rid of what is added or subtracted first. That means we bring over is minus, so we bring over is plus. Now you can use your calculator to get that value. Right, which is 326 over 27. And to get rid of the square root, we square. Squaring a square root will remove it. We have to do the same on both sides to maintain balance. So that will give us y equals to 145. Or 146. That is the answer to 3 significant figure. But actually in equation, you should give your answer as a fraction. Right? Now, next, meter cube per hour to cm cube. Now, what is the conversion? We always go back to the linear conversion. 1 meter is 100 cm. So if we have meter cube, then it will be 3 times the number of zeros. Right, so 36 meter cube and 1 hour. So 36 meter cube is 36 multiplied by 1 million to change to cm cube. And 1 hour to seconds, we multiply by 3,600. Okay, then we simplify it, we get 10,000 cm cube per second. Right? Now we move on to the next sum. This is the last sum of paper 1, where we are given a rectangle and we have to construct a triangle ACE. It's good to draw a diagram before you construct. So we want to construct a diagram ACE such that CE is 12 and AE is 8. Right? Then we have to measure and write down the reflex angle CAE. That means this is the angle that we want to measure after we construct. Then what is the name of the polygon? AECD. AECD is just simply a quadrilateral, right? 4-sided figure. Always read the whole sum before you start constructing. Now, a man stands at position M and ADM. Okay, ADM is the angle is 120. So AD, so M must be somewhere there. And the angle DCM, DCM is 30. So this is what we need to construct. It's always good to begin by drawing a rough sketch of what we want to construct. The first part requires us to construct the triangle ACE with CE as 12 and AE as 8. So we take the measurement from the ruler for 12 cm and transfer it to the point C to draw an arc of 12 cm. Next, we take the measurement of 8 cm and put our point at A to mark off 8 cm from A. Where the two arcs crosses is the point E. So now we join to get our triangle. Join to C. A and C and A. Right, so here is 12 cm and this is 8 cm. Right, so we complete the first part. In the second part, we have to measure the angle CEA, which is a reflex angle. CA is here, so measure the reflex angle. We actually measure the angle that is next to it. That is the angle which is the obtuse angle CAE. Measuring the obtuse angle CAE. The angle is 116 degrees. Right, so angle CAE is 616 degrees. Therefore, the reflex angle CAE is 360 minus, right? So 360 minus 116, that will give us 244 degrees. Next, we have to identify the quadrilateral. AEC, AECD, and that is a quadrilateral. Part C is a quadrilateral. And the last part requires to find M, given that the angle DCM is 30 degrees and the other angle ADM is 120. Okay, so we mark 30 degrees here. It's 30 degrees. And then 120 ADM. This is 120 degrees. And therefore, this is the position of M. And that completes our construction. Thank you. So right now we move on to paper 2, and in the first sum we have a parallelogram, and what is given is that the ratio of AF, F is a point, F is here, and AF to AD, AF to AD is 3:4. So then we are also given AF is 21 and CD is 10. Right, CD is 10. And we are given the area of the triangle, which I have drawn in red. That is 84 cm square. Then the first part is to find show that BE is just the height of the triangle. So what we need to do is half base times height. Base is 21 times the height is BE, and this equals to 84 as what is given. So from here we can work out BE, which is 8 cm. Right, now the next part, find the area of the parallelogram. Now that we have the height, the height is also the height of the parallelogram, right? So now we want to find this area. It is just base times height, and the base is AD times the height is 8. And what is AD? Now, just now we are given that is 3, AD is 3 parts, AF is 3 parts out of 4. So therefore, to find, first we find one part, that is 21 divided by 3, then times 4. That will give us the whole length of AD. Then multiply by 8. This works out to be 224 cm squared. Don't forget the units. Alright, G is a point on CD produced. CD produced means we extend CD. So extend CD and up to G, and G is the perpendicular distance from B. Right, perpendicular distance from B, that gives BG. What they are actually giving us, BG is actually the height of the parallelogram using CD as the base. So therefore, base times height will be equal to the same area which we have found earlier on. That is 224 cm square. Right, so that is how we can find out the length of BG, which is actually the height. So the height times the base is now 10, and this equal to 224. Alright, so BG must be A, B, C, D is 280. Okay, next we have ratio, and we want to find the ratio of m is to n. When we have this type of sum where there's an equation, we convert the ratio to a fraction. So the first ratio is on the left hand side, and the right hand side is the ratio 5:3, which we write as a fraction, 5/3. So once we write it as a fraction, then to find the ratio m is to n is actually finding the fraction m over n. So we need to first cross multiply. We have 6 times this equal to 5 times 2n minus 3m. Okay, opening it up. So what is our objective? Is to put m on one side of the equation and n on the other side of the equation. Okay, so now m is negative on the right, bring over is positive. So 6m plus 15 is 21m. So putting the n on the other side, minus 18, bring over is plus 18, so it's 28m. Okay, now we want m over n, right? So n is now multiplied, so bring over is divide. And 21 is multiplied, so we bring over is divide. So reduce to the lowest term, and this is 7 over 3. 7, oh sorry, it is 4 over 3. Okay, but our answer has to be a ratio. M is to n is 4:3. Alright, the next sum is on sequence, and for sequence, when we are given a set of numbers, we should find the difference between the numbers. Okay, so between 1 and 8 is 7, right? So between so this is also 7, if we plus 7. So each part is plus 7. Right, so the difference is 7. And the formula is here, right? The n term formula is first term, which is negative 20, plus the difference is 7 times n minus 1. So this simplifies to 7n minus 27. Okay, that is the n term. So t29, so we just replace n by 29. And that gives us $176. All right, now the next part is a set of numbers which we have to make sense of it. The numbers are put in a cross, and it is given that the largest number is x. Now then they ask us, how do we find the connection between the smallest number and x in the cross? Now you can see that the difference between the number x, the largest number, and the smallest number is actually 18. And if we try the other cross, it also gives us the same pattern, 18. That means to get the number 3, I actually take x minus 18. That means 21 minus 18 will give us 3, and 70 minus 18 will also give us 52. So that is what the smallest number, the expression to find the smallest number is x minus 18. And they say sum up all the 5 numbers and show that it's 5x minus 45. So we have to study the numbers, and the first number, the lowest, looking at the first square, we can tell that the largest number, which is x, and then 11. How do we get 11? So it's minus 10, right? So this will give us 11. And how do we get 12? Is minus 9, all right? Minus 9. Minus 9 from 21. So that means we have to add x minus 9. And how do we get 13? Minus 8, right? So plus x minus 8. And how do we get the number 3? Is x minus 18. That's what we have found earlier on. And this gives us sum it all up, you'll find that it's equal to 5x minus 45. That's what we need to show. Now, is it possible to add up to 324? So this is the formula. So this is the formula for adding the numbers. So if can add up to 324, then if we find out x, the x is actually 73.8. Now x is supposed to be a whole number, right? So therefore it is not possible, right? The answer is no, because x is not a positive integer. Right, now we move on to the next sum, which is on speed and distance. Now for this sum here, you know that we need to know this formula, speed equals to distance over time, right? So the first part, they have given us the details. It's good to draw a diagram. The race is 33 kilometers long, and the first part of the journey, x, is run at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. So write down in terms of x the number of hours May took, right? So the number of hours, which is t, so the time is distance over speed. So distance is x and the speed is 5. Okay, so that is for the first part of the journey. the remaining part of the journey. Now, if x is the first part of the journey, then the remaining part is 33 minus x. So the remaining journey, what is the time taken? The time taken again is the distance, which is 33 minus x, and the speed is over 6. Right? Now, the total time taken is 6 hours. Right? So the first time, for the first part of the journey, second part of the journey, that is the total time is 6 hours. And this is the equation that we need to form. Right? So to work out this, remember that an equation involving fractions, we get rid of the denominator by multiplying by the LCM. So the LCM here is 30. So we multiply by 30. So in this way, we can cancel the denominator. So we cancel, we have 6x, we cancel, and this is 5. And this is 180. Right? So that will give us, we simplify it, x plus 165 equals to 180, and x is 15. Okay, now let's move on to the next part. This one is a different sum about a trip. Andy planning a trip to St. John Island on a weekend. Right? Then the timing is given. And Andy takes 1 hour 25 minutes to travel from home to the pier. Right? So what is the earliest ferry that is available? Right? So that means we have to take the earliest ferry and minus the time of travel. Right? So that is the earliest ferry on the weekend is 9 a.m. and we minus away the time of travel is 1 hour and 25 minutes. So when we subtract, we have 0.735. Okay, and that is the time that he should leave the house. And now it takes 35 minutes for the ferry to travel from St. John to Kusu. Okay, so we can draw a diagram, and the distance is 8250. So the diagram, St. John to Kusu Island, 8250, and it's 35 minutes. So what we want to find is the speed of the ferry. Okay, so the speed of the ferry in kilometers per hour. Right, so we have to change all our values to kilometers and hours. Okay, so this one will be 35 over 60, and this will be 8.25 km. Alright, so now we have the right units. Then the speed is, again we look at the triangle, speed is distance over time. So distance over the time. Right, over means divide by the time. So need to invert it and then calculate, or you can use your calculator, and it is 14.17 kilometers per hour. Right, now next part. In the next part, Andy would like to spend at least 2 hours on Kusu Island. So again, we draw a simple diagram, right? We know that from St. John to Kusu Island it takes 35 minutes, and then he want to stay in Kusu Island for 2 hours. That means it is the last ferry is at the ferry that he need to take is 4:15, which is 16:15 in metric time. So he need to spend 2 hours on Kusu Island. So therefore, he has to start at 14:15. Okay, that is 2 hours before he can take the 14:15 ferry back to the main island, right? Now, so that means what time does he need to start? Now, so what we do is we take 14:15 minus away 35 minutes. That's the time for the travel. And this gives us 1 hour 40, right, minutes. Now, if we look at the table, there is no ferry for 140. It's only 150. So if he go take that ferry at 150, that will be too late, right? So therefore, he must take it at 11:50. Okay, should take the ferry. Take at 11:50. Okay, so that is the answer. The next sum is on the area of cross section or prism, right? This is a prism, so there are two cross section, and first it is given the cross section is given at the side here. This is the cross section for clarity, and the trapezium. The trapezium is AC, ACDE, the trapezium, and this trapezium is 11 cm square, and we have to find OA, right, and show that OA is 4. Okay, now what is the area of a trapezium? Is half sum of the parasites, which is 4 plus AC, yeah? 4 plus AC. Then multiply by the height. What is the height? The height is 2. And this gives us the area 11. Okay, so if we work out AC, then AC is 7 cm. Therefore, OA is AC minus 3, that is 4 cm. Right, next we have to show that the area of cross section. Now the cross section, there are 3 parts. We have the trapezium, we have the triangle. Okay, look at the figure here again. Alright, so the triangle part is half base times height, and the base we have found is 4, right? So 4 times the height is 3. That is the triangle. And then we have the 1/4 of a circle, pi r square, and r is 3. And then the trapezium, half sum of the parasites. The parasites is 7 and 4. Actually, we already have the area of the trapezium, right? It's 11. So we don't need to work that out. We can actually put it in straight away. And the cross section works out to be 20.927. That is approximately 20.9. Answers to three significant figure. But we need to write 20.927 because we need to use it later. Right? So perimeter of cross section is needed if you want to find the total surface area. Okay, so the perimeter, I've drawn a figure here showing all the lengths that gives you the perimeter. We have the base of the figure is 4, then there are 2.5 lengths, and then we have the length 5, and the arc is 1/4 pi d, right? And pi d is 6. Okay, so that works out to be the perimeter. Okay, we work this out. The 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 5 is 14. So 14 plus 1/4, 6 divided by 4 multiplied by pi. Okay, so it works out to be 18.712. Always find significant figure. And now we are ready to find the total surface area, which is 2 cross-section area. We need to use 20.927 plus then the perimeter multiplied by the length. And the length of the object is, look at here again, 12. Alright, this is the length of the object, 12. Okay, so we work out, and it is 341.801, which 3 significant figure is 342 cm squared. To find the volume of prism, it is the area of cross section, 5 significant figure multiplied by the length is 12, and that gives us 251.124, which is 3 significant figure is 251 cm cube. Now, how do we fit this into a box? Well, the total height is 5 from the diagram, right? We can see. The length of the object, you know, is 12, so the internal dimension must be about 12. And then the whole length is 7. AC is the whole length. So this is the dimensions that we require. Right, next we have a sum on this is hire purchase. So whenever we have hire purchase, we have this diagram here, DBI. D is the down payment or the deposit, which is at 25%, and the balance, right, after minusing the 25%, the balance is 75%, and then the interest is work on the balance. So we must work out the balance before we can get the interest. Right, so now they want the down payment, which is 25% of the cash price. And that is $300. $300. Okay, so now the balance will be minus the 300, that is $900. That's the balance, and the interest is based on this balance and at the rate of 3%, multiplied by the time is 2 years, right? 24 is 2 years. Okay, that gives us the interest. Alright, and what does that works out to be? The interest is 900, cancel is 9 times 6. 9 times 6 is 54. Okay, that's the interest. So now we want to work out the monthly installment. The monthly installment is this whole sum here divided by the number of months. Alright, because this is not paid. The balance is not paid, the interest is not paid. So we have the balance plus the interest divided by 24 months. That will give us the monthly installment, which is 39.75. Okay, the total amount that he must pay. Now, the total amount he must pay, you know that he has to pay 1200. That is the price of the item plus the interest. So the interest is $54, right? So it is 1254, and that is what they need to pay. Okay, next sum is on a graph, and first we have to find out what is the missing values. Using the equation, we substitute x as -2, and we can work out, right? The first value is 4, and the second value, when it's 8, we work out is -1. Now we have to draw the graph, and the graph for the horizontal axis is 2 cm. 2 cm is one big square to 2 units. So 2 cm to 2 units for the horizontal axis. 2 cm is one big square. And then for the, sorry, that is using a scale of 2 cm on the horizontal axis, correct. And then 2 cm to 1 unit on the y-axis. So one big square, 2 cm. Every time you see 2 cm, you interpret it as one big square. So one big square represents 1 on the y-axis. Alright, now we are ready to plot. The first one is -2 and 4. -2 and 4. Then we have 2, 2, 2, 2, and 6, 0, and 8, -1. Right? It should form a straight line, because the equation is a straight line equation. Alright, so let us okay, the straight line here to here. Okay, so we normally write the equation of the line. The equation is x plus 2y equals to 6. That's the original equation. Okay, now using your graph, find the value of x when y is -half. Y is -half. So this is the line, y is -half. So we draw a dotted line, y is -half. And once it hit the line, we read off the x value. So the value of x is 7. Right, between 6 and 8 is 7. Draw the line y is -half. Okay, I mean, they should have asked us to draw that earlier on. So this is the line, y is -half. Okay, label it, y is -half. Okay, next, what do they want us next? State the gradient. Okay, gradient is the height over the base. But Then before we rush into the answer, you must look at the sloping of the line. It slopes down, so it's a negative gradient. So gradient is height over base. So the height is 3 and the base is 6. So 3 over 6. So 3 over 6, which is negative half. So the gradient is negative half. And next, a line L2 passes through the point negative 1, 2. Where's negative 1, 2? Negative 1 is the x value, right? So negative 1 x value and 2. Negative 1, 2 is the point here. So we want a point that passes through this and parallel to the y-axis. Okay, passes through this point and parallel to the y-axis. Right, that is the line. And this line is L2. Draw L2 and state the equation. Now, vertical line equation is x equal negative 1. Right? The point there is passing through, x is negative 1. So this is the equation of the line. And we need to find the area that is enclosed. The graph with the y-axis. The y-axis is here. So this is the area that we want. Right? So the area is half. Base is 7, huh? No. Yeah. Base is 7. And the height is 3.5. Right? So that gives us 12.25 square units or units squared. Right, next sum. Next sum, right, a family is going on a trip and then they have 5 adults and 3 children, and then first they want to go for dinner, and there's 2 restaurants. One charge the adult $72 and child is 50%. But they have a promotion. Every 2 adults, you will get the third adult free. Okay, so they have 1 free meal for the adult. In the second restaurant, we have the adult is 98, the child is 50%, and then for every 2 adult, 1 child is free. So, and there's a discount of 20%. All right, first, both restaurants charge a service of 10% and GST of 8%. Right, so find the total bill for the Ginger restaurant. Right, now remember that the every 2 adults, 1 adult is free. Okay, so therefore altogether we need to pay for 4 adults and 3 children. Right, so the price for 4 adults is 4 times 72, because 1 adult is 72, and then plus 3 children, and children is 50%. So 50% is 36. And this is has a service charge of 10%, and 10% means 110 over 100. And then on top of this, you have 8% of the whole bill, so 108 over 100. So that works out to be, you can use your calculator, 470.45 to 2 decimal places. Money is always 2 decimal places. Now we have to compare which one has a better deal. So now we have to find the total bill for the other restaurant. So the other restaurant, remember that for every 2 adults, the child is free. So 4 adults, that means 2 child is free. So at the end, we only pay for 5 adults. So 5 adults is 5 times 98, right? And this plus 1 child, because 2 child is free, there are 3 children altogether, and 1 child is 50%. 50%, 98 divided by 2. So 98 divided by 2 is 49, right? So this one again is subjected to 10% tax, and then 8% of the whole bill, and that works out $512.27. Right? So therefore, who has a better deal? Okay, Ginger restaurant, right? So Ginger is the Ginger's bill is less than the Mint's bill. Therefore, Ginger is better. Okay, now the family now wants to go for a trip, and 2 places, Italy and Switzerland. Then in Italy they use euros, so the conversion of euros is given, and then they want to go to Switzerland. Then Switzerland use Swiss franc. Swiss franc is $1 per 1 Singapore dollar is 66 Swiss franc. So that means 1 Swiss franc will be 1 over 0.66 of Singapore dollars. Right. Now, so the first part, by comparing the exchange rate, can you tell which hotel costs more? So that means the hotel in Italy is 170 euros. We need to convert it to Singapore dollars, and the conversion is 1.48, and that is 251 and 60 cents Singapore dollars. Then for this, we multiply by 1 over 0.66, right? Because we found that 1 Swiss franc is 1 over 0.66, so 170 is multiplied by 170. So the Swiss franc will give us 251 and 60 is 257 and 60. So therefore the Swiss Italy is less, right? Italy is less. So therefore, since rate of Italy is less than the rate of Swiss hotel, therefore Switzerland costs more. Right. Next, they have a budget 2,300 and for the whole trip, and he needs to book 4 rooms per night. Okay, and calculate whether he can stay 4 nights in Italy and 5 nights in Switzerland. All right, so earlier on we see that is 170 euros per night. So they need a total of 4 rooms. Okay, here stated total of 4 rooms, and staying for 4 nights in Italy. So we put the details here so that we can calculate. Right. So now the total cost, if we don't include the transaction fee, there's a transaction fee for credit card. Okay, so let's calculate. So for 4 nights and 4 rooms, each room is 170 euros. But what we are interested is in Singapore dollars. So we have to use Singapore dollars for comparison, right? So is this amount that we calculated earlier on. That is the 170 euros is this amount in Singapore, right? And then 5 nights in Switzerland and 4 rooms again, right? And then the conversion 257.60. Right, so all together it is 9177.12. Right, so now you see that he has exceeded the cost of 2,300, right? So the answer is no, he cannot be spending 4 nights and so on, right? Since the total is 9177.12, has exceeded the budget of 2,300. Hey, next sum. Oh, this is the end of the paper. All right, thank you.